joining you on your London commute. The Breakfast Show with Robert Ashitey.
Have a good day, and all my homies gonna ride today, and all these mommies look fly today, and all we wanna do is get by today. Hey, we're gonna have a good day.
All right, guys, this is your breakfast show, and now it is a Tuesday, and it is the pursuit of success. All right, guys. So we have our special guest here today, Annette from. How do you say it again? Because I've been saying it all through these past couple of days.
Saver to
Investor. All right, Saver to Investor. And she's come on the show today. She's your financial advisor. Right?
Oh, financial educator.
All right. And she has a really powerful story to share with us today. And just how you can change a few ideas that can lead us on the path for generational wealth. Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us today, Annette.
Thank you.
All right, and we're loving your energy today. Okay, so guys, make sure you got your pen and papers ready because it's really going down today. So Annette, just give us a bit of a background about yourself, how you got involved in what you currently do.
Sure. So basically, it was around 2018, and I was speaking to a friend, and we were just talking about potential business ideas, etc. And she said to me that I could actually pursue financial literacy, and people would actually pay for it. I presumed everybody was like me and was earning, say, a moderate income and saving thousands of pounds a year. And she laughed. She said, "Annette, seriously? There's people earning 50k a year, and they have nothing to show for it, often debt."
Yeah.
And I was shocked, like, really? Because I didn't really have money conversations with anyone.
Yeah. That's an interesting point there. So money conversations. Yeah. People don't speak about money, right?
No.
We don't speak about money in school. Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Dr. Eddie. We don't speak about money in schools, right? I think we touched on it even during the timeout. It's not taught in schools, managing money.
No.
As an adult, there is a bit of a thing of like, it's my business, right? And I think this is really, really an important thing to discuss.
It is.
But what led you to that point? I mean, because 2018, so we haven't hit the recession yet, the thing yet. So what led you to that point?
So it was actually a prayer. I said, "God, what is your will for my life?"
Wow.
And he said the financial literacy. And I thought, really? Me? Like, what do I know about financial literacy? And I realized I knew a lot because I'd consistently been able to save thousands of pounds every year. My problem was I knew how to save money. I didn't know how to get money to work through investing.
Yeah.
So I felt like God wanted me to not just show people how to manage their finances, but also to encourage them and empower them to access the powerful world of investing, hence the name Saver to Investor.
Okay, and this is interesting because we have a generation that was before us where they would put money under the bed.
Yes.
Right, under the mattress, right? And you'll accumulate a lot, which is there for you on a rainy day.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is it doesn't have to stop there, right?
It shouldn't. Gosh, that's the place where you shouldn't keep it, simply because inflation, it will just erode the value of your money. So inflation is literally the cost of living is pretty much going up on a daily basis. And if you don't learn to get your money to work hard for you, you'll just remain working hard for your money constantly.
Oh, Father.
Yeah.
All right. Now, everything, and this was in 2018. All right. And you started on this journey. And so you started to educate yourself on the investing side as well, or?
Yes, I was already quite clued up with the money management side of things. So saving and avoiding debt, etc. What I wasn't really confident about was accessing the world of investing safely. I did see a financial advisor, but I actually wanted to understand just the basics so that I could have a proper conversation with a financial advisor and not feel overwhelmed.
Yes.
And spot if I was in the right investment. So now I'm a DIY investor, and I also invest alongside a financial advisor as well, and both methods are working for me quite well.
Okay, fantastic. So you already had good habits to not spend your money, right?
Yeah.
Because there is this behavior. I believe it's in the human heart, the human condition, where it's like, oh great, I've just received £2,000. Right, now where can I spend it? Right, that's exactly
literally.
Who's ever said that before? Okay, I've just got my money. You already plan. Forget the essentials that you need to live, right? But you already plan where that money's going to go, and usually it's the things just to make you feel nice and feel happy, right?
Literally. And that's all fine, but provided it's all within a budget. So there's no harm in having fun, enjoying life's luxuries. If you want to go stay in a 7-star hotel in Dubai, that's your business. But what do you have to show for it at the end? Like we were saying before, wealth building is a skill set. So you have to master the skill set. If you don't, often people think if I have more money, I'll do better financially. That's right. It just means you're going to mismanage a lot more money.
Wow.
And we can see that through like lottery winners. They win the lottery and within a couple of years.
Yeah, usually they give them about 2 years.
Just 2 years. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
How'd you get £3 million in 2 years?
Yeah. And and I'm glad you brought this up, because, and this is why Annette's here, guys, because if a person wins the lottery right now, right, the person's doing whatever they're doing, they win the lottery right now, and they win £2 million, £6 million, right? However, they haven't gone through the process to become the £6 million. They haven't gone through the struggles, they haven't gone through the losses, they haven't gone through the investment, they haven't gone through, the emotional turmoil or whatever to create that £6 million.
Yeah.
They will just revert back to what they are.
Literally. And that's why the majority of lottery winners, I guess, do lose the money. So I guess the key thing then is to build good habits. And the younger you start, the better. But it's never too late to start, I guess.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So you've started on this journey. You said, okay, you know what? I've got the saving side. Now I'm doing the investing side. You had a financial advisor. You decided to kind of go more into that field to understand how it works for yourself. And then what did you do? You turn that into a product, into a service?
Yeah, so you could actually systemize your finances in a couple of hours. It literally doesn't take long. And provided you don't interrupt the process, your finances will deliver results. Simply because when you apply principles, they bear fruit.
Yes.
So the money management side of things is very simple. What's not simple is the mindset. It's the discipline, as we were talking about. A lot of people are not disciplined. They'll see a nice pair of shoes.
Yeah.
A pair of Balenciagas or a nice bag, and the distraction comes in and they'll just interrupt the process. So the key thing here is, I say it always comes back to mindset. So what do you want and why do you want it? When you have an idea of what you're going for and why, you're more likely able to resist the temptation to spend the money. But often people don't really have a why, like motivating them, like why they want to be financially abundant, what they're going to do with that financial abundance, etc. But people who are clear on that can manage to have, say, hundreds of... There was once a girl who told me she had £100,000 sitting in her account and she didn't know what to do with it.
Wow.
I was like, wow, but she had such discipline in place to not spend it.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's all about discipline as well, and just setting goals for yourself.
All right, guys, so I hope you're listening to this, because this is really, really interesting stuff. So you've actually gone out there now and you started helping people. And I've heard some of the testimonials, people who say, like, I can't save nothing. But after they spent some time with you and put into practice what you shared with them, they've now got these savings that they can now invest.
Literally.
Amazing.
Literally. Not just that, but I had a lady who told me she paid her down around £12,000 of debt in less than 2 years. And she said that's just by following what you wrote, like the principles, they actually do work. And now she's in a position where she's having a mindset shift from buying loads of bags and shoes and getting herself in debt to now wanting to completely eliminate debt and build wealth through investing.
Beautiful. And it's funny because many times I think we can be in a way that we can kind of live with debt.
Yeah.
Right? We live with it. Like having long, debt for ages is just a normal part of life, right? It's quite scary, isn't it?
Extremely
if you
scary.
start to deep it, because if we're in it, we're conditioned like, oh yeah, and this is what they advertise to us, you could just do XYZ, it's easy, and they make it easy for us. But when you deep it, that's not really mine.
It's not. And the scariest thing is that people have been normalised to high interest debt. Whereas if you've got that interest working in your investments instead, it would be a completely different life outcome for yourself and say family, etc. So it's all about mindset shift. It's almost like people are conditioned to stay in poverty, but they don't feel like it's poverty because they can go buy nice bags, go buy nice shoes, maybe go on 2 nice holidays a year. But if you actually manage your finances better and teach your money to work hard for you, you'll realize that you can actually have a different outcome.
I want to hear this. I'm excited. I'm excited, people. Eddie, are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm good. So, look, guys, we're gonna hear some wonderful tools. So we know about Annette, okay, and how she's got into what she does, and I know that she's brilliant at what she does, and basically she's gonna come up now to give us some amazing tools. All right, and also we've got this amazing book that she's written, How to Save 10,000 on a Low Income. I love that smile you got on your face. It's like, yeah. Easy peas. So we're going to be
squeeze.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at it in just a moment. All right, guys. So by the way, we have something here from Pranjal. Pranjal says we cannot have an interest by we cannot have any interest by putting money under the bed. We can't have any interest.
Certainly not.
It is what it is. All right. But guys, so if you've got any questions for Annette, please feel free to send it through into our live chat. So I'm looking at the live chat here. All right. Or send it through to us on our Breakfast Show WhatsApp line. Okay. We're just literally making a way so we can make sure we can continue with what we're doing here, and you can follow through and get these nuggets from this amazing lady. All right, so we're gonna go to a very quick timeout right now just to clear our heads, and we're gonna go into the nitty gritty deep stuff from the one and only Annette Galloway. We'll be right back after this.
Joining you on your London commute, The Breakfast Show with Robert Ashitey.
Have a good day, and all my homies wanna ride today, and all these mommies look fly today, and all we wanna do is get by today. Hey, we're gonna have a good day.
All right, guys, this is your breakfast show. And it's a Tuesday.
Have a good day.
All right, Dr. Eddie, I'm trying to talk, please. Thank you so much, Dr. Eddie. And I love your voice. Your voice. You're awesome. All right. But we were just talking just now. Right now, we were just talking during the timeout. And I started the conversation by saying that, it's interesting how it's like, actually, I don't even know how the angle actually started. But the way that we can behave sometimes, we have a responsibility to manage wealth, right? I see it as, when it comes to money, when it comes to wealth, especially if we have godly principles, I understand that I have a responsibility to manage whatever comes into my hands. But it seems like human beings in general, there's that other side of the heart. Remember the Team Fearless piece we listened to this morning? There's that other nature in us, which is like squanders, like just wastes. And on things that we don't need, and our heart is leading us. The heart's leading, and and you said something like, "Oh, is this like a stronghold or something?" What was it you said?
Yeah, no, I'm basically saying, the principles are so easy to master. I just wonder sometimes what causes people to see the logic and beauty of being responsible with your finances so that you can, in the long term, provide better outcomes for yourself and your loved ones. And the reason why I say this is the average person, if they were putting away, say at the age of 23, around, it takes about, you put around £150 a month. It's quite low because you're young. And if you left that until retirement, you'd be a millionaire if you put that in an investment, getting a 10% return because of the money compounding over time. So it's actually quite realistic for the average person to do well quite financially, but I guess the mindset is not there to do well, or the logic, I guess, and it's almost like
it's crazy. What are we doing?
It is
I
crazy.
have to say, because I don't exclude myself from this. The reason why, because I understand I'm learning every day. There's some disciplines that I've learned in the journey, in the work that I've been in, but I don't know everything. I know that I need to learn. We don't stop. We leave school, but we don't stop learning, right? We leave the education system, but we don't stop learning. And this is so important. And it's like we're addicted to failure and squandering. I don't get it. What's wrong with us human beings? Anyway, so we have here Jessica Bertrand says, book added to my Amazon basket. Thank you. Jessica didn't waste any time. All right, but right now you're going to go through some of these principles that you spoke about. And by the way, Paulette from Pastor says, welcome Annette, where can I get the book from? Okay, everyone's going into it now.
It's actually listed on Amazon, so if people want to get the book, you can get it from Amazon. Please leave a review as well and let me know how you got on with the book. Okay,
fantastic. So look, so you've got some tools for us today. Yeah, we've got some tools for us today. I mean, some of these tools are already in here, all right? So what are you going to be sharing with us today that we can use?
So I'm going to share with you all the principles that empowered me to save thousands of pounds a year on a low income. So this was an income ranging from 18 to 25k, and as a mother, a single parent mum.
Wow.
So if I can do that on that income level without, being in abject poverty, then anyone can do it, especially if you're in a two-parent home or if you're on a higher salary, and especially for single people that don't have children. So principle number one is...
Okay, I've got my notepad and paper here. All right, I'm really excited. Here I was using a fan because she's sending the fire. So I'm like, wow, receive it. All right, so okay, let's go through this. Come on.
So you'll need to budget. As simple as it is, most people are not budgeting, and that's why they have debt. So you've really got to really look at your expenditure, your expenses. Most people don't even realize where their money's going, but if they wrote it all down on a piece of paper, or you can go on budgeting apps like Yolt and Emma, they will give you an idea as to where your money's going. Until you know where your money's going, you're not really going anywhere financially.
Okay, and you know what's really, really good as well, because I've always been a stickler for budgeting. I think because I got married quite young, I had to kind of grow up very quickly to manage my life, right? And here's a good app. Here's a good one. Monzo.
Yes, they got money saving pots, haven't they?
Yeah. And here's a good thing about Monzo, guys. All right, they're not sponsoring us or anything like that, but just things I experienced, that when you have your monthly coming in, when you have your salary or whatever coming into your account, you can have a pot set up that is for your utilities. So your mortgage and that lot that needs to be paid for will be all from that pot, and it shows you how much is there, and it will automatically separate money. So if after you separated your tithe, or and it will separate wherever you separate that. So you've got it all in that one pot. It does it automatically.
Wow.
And then when those debits hit, it extracts it from that pot.
Oh, fantastic.
And if you was naughty, and suppose if something came out, okay, I needed to send some money quickly here, and you for some reason had to go into that pot, it would be red. So you need to top it up by 50. You're like, okay, I remember.
Amazing. So that app's just made it really easy for people.
Made it easy.
So there's no excuses, guys.
Absolutely. So that's something to, and I haven't seen that on any other ones, but ones I think
that sounds really, really detailed. I'd really encourage people to go for that. Once you've got your budgeted in place, I guess, and you know where your finances going, have you ever heard of Pay Yourself First?
Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, so it's quite famous in his book Rich Dad Poor Dad. But Richard actually says that he pays himself first before he pays anyone else. So before he pays any of his major expenses like mortgage, car payments, etc., he prioritizes paying himself first. But the average person, they say they've got no money at the end of the month, and that's because they paid everybody else first and not themselves. So once you begin prioritizing paying yourself first, it guarantees you a portion of the pie.
So what does that look like?
So that would look like on payday, you would guarantee yourself a payment before you've made all your other payments. So the key thing here is to prioritize, and they say that should be 10% on average. I think personally, in my opinion, people can do more. 20-25% depend. But the only way you're really going to know how much you can do is to budget. So all of these tips kind of feed into one another.
Okay, and this is interesting because, so what you're saying is that usually we're just running on autopilot and things are just grabbing funds out of our account.
Literally.
What you're saying is, hold on there, right? I know what my budget is, right? So that I know what my budget looks like. Obviously, we have our like utilities, the things that are very, really important.
Essential expenses, yeah.
Essential, right? So what, do we separate the essential expenses before we pay ourselves?
So what you literally really want to do is, at least just to get started, regardless of what your expenses are, guarantee yourself 10% regardless, and then make your finances work around that. For example, when you've got a mortgage to pay or a rent, you just make it happen. So this is something you have to prioritize. You have to make it happen. It's not, there's not enough money. It's, you know that L'Oreal advert, it says, because I'm worth it. You kind of got to have that attitude of, because I'm worth it. So, and just do it like the Nike advert says. So you've really just got to prioritize it regardless and make you got to treat it like a bill, like the bill, and you're the most important bill yourself. But for most people, the bill is council tax, internet, Skype, or whatever other expenses are. And although they help your life, they're quite boring things to prioritize. So the key thing here is to prioritize yourself. Okay,
fantastic. All right, so pay yourself first or prioritize yourself, yeah? Excellent. What else we got?
And then the last thing is build an emergency fund. So that essentially means, a caller was mentioning it, to kind of have a backup plan. So the emergency fund is like your backup plan. It's like a pot of treasure, a pot of money that stops you from going into debt. And that is my secret as to why I could never go into debt. Because I budget, I pay myself first, and then I have this emergency fund in place. So ideally, everybody should quickly build this to £1,000 as quickly as possible. I actually have a Telegram group that empowers people just to do that, and some savings challenges. So I could send you the link, and if you want to put it out there, feel free.
Guys, if you want that link from Annabelle, just let us know on the Breakfast Show WhatsApp line, and we'll share that with you. If you don't have the Breakfast Show WhatsApp line number, Dr. Eddie's put it on the screen right now. Booyah Shaka, Budov, +44 75 79 79 6845. +44 75 79 79 6845.
Because you're worth it.
All right, guys. So, all right. So we'll make sure we get that. No problem.
So literally, the average person could save that. There's a savings challenge where you could do it over 26 weeks. But the quicker you do it, the better. And that is your freedom fund, because it should keep you out of debt. Because the average emergency shouldn't really cost more than £1,000. Don't get me wrong, it can. But initially, £1,000 should be a good buffer zone if you have no savings whatsoever. And then ideally, you want to get that to 3 to 6 months of expenditure. But I believe in a holistic wealth building journey. So I think personally, you should do whatever makes you feel comfortable. It may be 2K for you, 3K for you, 4K for you. If someone told me the figure 10K feels nice to them. So just build it to an amount that makes you feel secure.
And you know, and the thing is, the perspective that you're coming from is, you know, a person who's employed, has their probably 9-to-5 job, right? And they know what's coming in, right? And they can kind of work with that, right?
Literally.
And then imagine you've got someone who is self-employed, right? They got a side hustle, whichever, and obviously their income fluctuates, right? So this gives them a target as well, right? It gives them a target.
It does. And if their income's fluctuating, they can just average it out. So you could divide your figures by 4, or if you need to do it by every 3 months, I guess you could divide your figures, total them all up, and divide them, say, by 12. Let's say if it's over 3 months, etc., just to average it out, so you get an idea of the average amount you're working with. Okay,
fantastic. That sounds great. I think that sounds really good. I mean, because we never, you know, there are some cultures that they like. I meet them, particular cultures. I think, is it Igbos who are Nigerian? I'm not too sure, but they have an emergency fund.
Really?
The children are taught like, well, all I know is that I have my emergency fund. I've noticed that throughout time, there's people I've spoken to. I've got an emergency fund. You know, and it's like ingrained in them. You find they're very disciplined with money, and it's ingrained in them. Like they said, after I had this incident, I made sure I topped up my emergency fund.
That's good. That's actually, we should all be taken on board.
All right. So emergency fund. All right. So what do we do with all of this?
So essentially, once you just begin applying these principles to your life, the money, because you're budgeting, you'll be living off less than you earn. Because you're paying yourself first, you'll be building up a pot of savings, which will become your emergency fund. So if something disastrous happens, like, I don't know, the car breaks down and your laptop breaks down, and then unfortunately, let's say someone maybe dies and you have to fly out somewhere at short notice, instead of having to resort to a credit card, you've got these principles that are working in place to build up that pot of money. So you now don't have to fall back into debt. And if you really understand the danger of debt, the average debt is about, what, 20%, is it? 23%? Payday loans are a lot higher. I've seen rates as high as 600%, 1,000%. It's like, wow.
Doesn't nobody see the small print? I remember, like when I got married, right? I remember, because that time, you know, I didn't have a high salary. Neither did my wife was still in an original job. And I remember they had an advert for a payday loan, right? So I said, all right, you know, let me just get this. This was ages ago when they started to come out. And I remember I looked at the small print and I saw 1,000%. And I was like,
ridiculous, isn't it?
why would I do this to myself?
Yeah.
Why would I do? Well, so I was like, you know, but that was also education for me as well.
It is, yeah. I guess, yeah. And sometimes you've got to be in that situation to kind of learn the lesson. And just to put it into context, I think sometimes putting things into context helps. So the average savings account, you're lucky if you get 1%. Yeah. So then to go and take out credit, even if it's just 20%, it compounding over time, you're making Barclays richer or whoever you've got there. And the key thing is to make yourself wealthier. Yeah.
All right. We had a question. So obviously, we're doing these habits and we're building something, right? We and also it's changing us. It's changing our mindset. The moment we start this process, I can see just by budgeting, right? And you're continuously going over your budget. You're seeing your managing. It's become part of your habit, right? Now checking to see how your budget's going. You're paying yourself first. Right? You're enjoying what that looks like, right? Yep. And then you have your emergency fund set up in place. You're like, we're good. All right. So we've got that in place. I think the biggest thing in doing that is the mindset shift, right? Is the emotional shift. It's from the emotional, from the heart going to the mind now.
And then once you start to see progress being made, you can then start thinking about, okay, I've got all of this money now, what do I do with it? So if you look at all the wealthy people in society, the royal family, Jay-Z, he's actually a billionaire and he's got about 8 income streams. When you start to study these wealthy people, you realize that actually they're not, putting their money under their mattress. They're actually investing it, whether it's property, land, stocks and shares. And so when you cultivate these habits and copy the behaviors of wealthy, successful people, you're bound to kind of attract that level of wealth yourself. People don't realize that, I want to be rich. It's okay.
Yeah, it's too ambiguous.
It's too ambiguous. And when you're rich, how are you going to keep the money? Are you going to just spend it all and go on nice holidays and buy nice bags and shoes and send your kids to private school? Or are you going to find a way to learn how to make that money work so you can actually multiply it? Because the Bible calls you to be a good steward of money, isn't it? And to multiply the talents. And if you can't multiply and your multiplication is debt, then something's seriously going wrong.
The rebuke is starting. If you're not multiplying, your multiplication is debt. Wow. That's hard. And it's true.
It's the truth though, isn't it?
It's the hard truth. Your multiplication is debt. How's that something to ingest and take in, right? So it really is a thing. We need to have that. I would say there needs to be an emotional shift, right? Yeah. Because if we're living this way, we're living by emotion. Doesn't matter what we say or who we think we are. We're living emotion. It's our heart's desires that are leading us, right? And so right now, if you're listening to this listener, 2 things are happening. You're either being like, oh yeah, and let it go over the head, right? Because we don't have to touch us. If it is hitting us and we're like, I need to change, we can respond with like no, I'm okay. Do you get what I mean? We fight back, right? Or it's landing on good soil where it's like, okay, all right, I have some really bad habits, and I'm not even doing this, so I need to do this. I need to apply this if it's for my betterment, right?
And that's the key thing, to non-judgmentally judge yourself, to accept, okay, this is a situation, but there could be a different outcome if I change my mindset and shift from scarcity mindset and poor money management to, okay, I'm going to set some financial goals and begin putting like principles like this in place and actually achieve something.
Yeah, and I know what I wanted to say before. Like, okay, it's kicking off here. Guys, if you want to be added to get the Telegram, send a message to the WhatsApp line, because the live chat will disappear. All right, so I can check it after the program, please. Okay, and then we'll send you the details of the Telegram. Okay, no problem. Oh gosh, I did it again. So here's the thing. All right, once we get things settled, right? Usually we're too busy putting out fires and problems and chasing those problems to resolve them, rather than having a mind to think of, what's my next investment? It's like we enter into a completely different place. So when I got free time, I ain't gonna, obviously we entertain ourselves, but it won't be solely like I'm unwinding by watching Netflix and stuff like that, but I'm actually gonna educate myself to see what I can do with all this thing that I built, this capital that I built.
Literally.
I'm not putting out fires of debt anymore.
No.
I'm not like, oh, when's it? Because that occupies the mind, right?
It's quite tiring, I presume. I don't have debt myself, but I can only imagine how stressful it must be, thinking, oh my gosh, another payment I have to make. It's just...
Right, and if it's out of control, right? So you got that, so your mind, and then it's like you need to feel better, so you buy something to feel nicer and feel good about yourself. So it's a cycle.
It's a cycle that you literally need to break, and I guess it begins with a decision, like enough is enough, and then prioritizing, okay, what do you want and why? It could be, I don't know, to make sure that your children are set up better financially, just something that really motivates you to want to take action. I think a lot of people default to their bad habits because they don't have a strong enough goal motivating them. When you get a strong why behind you, why you want something, you're more likely to be able to go out and achieve it. Once that may be underlooked by people, but it's very likely they're not going to change if they don't have a strong financial goal and a big why motivating them to want to achieve that goal. Wow.
Okay, so guys, let me see. I've got some messages here. This is really kicking off, Robert. Can you repeat the name of the Annette's book, please? Yeah, sure. If you could do the honors.
Sure, it's
that camera right.
How to Save £10,000 on a Low Income, and you can find it on Amazon.
All right, there you go. And that was from Mary from Hammersmith. All right, who was sending that through. Oh my gosh, this is kicking off. All right, okay, yes, I'll send you the link. Don't worry, I will. Okay, yep, no problem. Yeah, okay, yep, okay, yep, okay, yep, okay, yep, okay. My gosh, it's kicking off. You know what? I think we're gonna have to we're gonna have to do another part.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to have you on the show. Yeah, I think it'd be good. Guys. What do you think? Yeah, I think so too. All right, so look, we had 3 principles here to start off with. The first one was budgeting, the second one was pay yourself first, prioritize yourself, and the third one was make sure you have an emergency fund. These things we can start today. Maybe you're listening and you probably already do some of these things, 1 or 2 of them, you know what I mean? Or maybe you fell off the wagon, all right? Because sometimes we can just fall off the wagon, and it's like this comes back to us, slaps us around the face. We'd be like, let me get back on the wagon again, all right? So definitely, we need to I'm in this. But you know what? The funny thing is, this is another subject for another day when it comes to investing. Yeah, we'll speak about this later. But anyway, guys, we're gonna have to stop here for now, all right? Unfortunately, if people want to get in touch with you, how can they connect with you?
So my Instagram is Saver2Investor.
Can you type that in the tin, please? You're welcome. You're wonderful.
And then I have a website where they can get a budgeting sheet. So that's www.savers with a S, to investors with a S. .com.
Let me just okay. So what was that?
Yeah, they can feel free to message me on Instagram if they do want to get in touch.
Excellent. So www.
And then savers with a S.
Yep.
to investors with an S.
Investors, yep.
.com.
.com. Did you get that, Dr. Edward? Edward. Yes, save it. Yeah. Okay, Savings to Invest, that's the Instagram. Okay, you put it on the screen there. All right, guys, and what we'll do, those of you who requested, we will send you the information again. All right, Annette, you've been absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
And the way you do it so effortlessly, like, because I'm like, yes, let's go, yeah. And Eddie's like, yeah, and like, but you just like, yeah. So you know, you can either lose your money or save it. It's up to you. It's up to you. All right. But before we go, is there any last word that you'd like to say to our listeners?
I guess, make up your mind, scarcity or abundance. And once you've made up your mind, just stick to it. Take responsibility for your actions.
Look right there.
Yeah, take responsibility for your actions, guys. Your life is a reflection of your daily habits. So if you want a better outcome, then you've got to apply new principles to get better habits. So, keep on learning, keep on developing, and never give up.
Okay, and on that note, I just want to thank you all. Thank you, Annette, for being absolutely awesome today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Eddie, for being an awesome man of sound.
Cheerio.
And there you have it, guys. So that wraps up our show for today, The Pursuit of Success. We're definitely going to have Annette coming in. You know what I do? Sometimes I just have to chain these guys' ankles to the chair, so they can't leave. All right, and then we keep them for another week. So I'm going to speak with her if she can join us again. All right. And definitely the journey doesn't have to stop here. Those of you who requested the Telegram link, we'll share it with you, and obviously you have the information there, the Instagram there on the top, and also we'll send you the web address. All right, but guys, let's go out there, let's practice what we know, let's make the difference, let's be the difference, because the people that are coming after us are watching us. All right, guys, I wish you all a powerful and robust Tuesday, and we'll be back tomorrow on your breakfast show with the Wellness Wednesday, where we're going to be looking at an amazing tool, amazing tip that can help us to take care of the only temple we have to live in while we're here on this earth. So I look forward to seeing you then. Same breakfast show time, 7 a.m., same breakfast show channel, libertyradio.co.uk. Until then, champions, stay connected. Right here, SWV, innit? That's what's coming up, right?
No, it's hello, God, hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do SWV right here.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
And then we do Hello God afterwards.
Yeah.
Was that a video you was gonna play?
Yeah.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I